Hey, so we are starting our live. I'm going to get us some music on. We are going to be doing a more restorative style exercise today. So it will involve a little bit of some like Tai Chi slow movement for our warm up, and we'll be doing some slow strength. So if you had ever attended one of my like balance and stability strength classes, it'll be more similar to that. So I just want to give you all some variety and mix it up a little bit as well. So let us get on some slower style music and allow yourself to just kind of open up and have fun with it as well. So the biggest component that they have found that helps with memory and preventing like dementia and Alzheimer's is really this ability to have fun while you exercise, to open up into this like abundant style mindset where you're open, you're free, you're playful. So the best way to describe this is if you think about this hardening, this when we're tense and we're just resistant. And when we're in that kind of mentality and our muscles are happening with that as well, that's also happening in our brain. And so we're not having that plasticity that we need in order to keep our brain subtle and plush and ability to absorb new memories and be flexible. Good morning, Anne. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy to be here with you. So we will have a chair for this class, and again, you will have the option of having weights or not having weights. We'll be working on that squeeze quite a bit. So to start, we're just going to start with the feet hip width apart, and you can take them wider if you need more balance, and we're just going to rock the hips side to side. So again, adding in this playfulness, and allow yourself to just feel the weight shift from foot to foot, foot to foot. And notice what moves more for you. Your feet, your knees, your hips. Maybe you're moving your shoulders a whole lot. None of those are right or wrong. It's just noticing what happens for you. So notice what's instinctual. And then we're going to start bringing some attention to it. So shift the weight, feel the weight into one foot. Notice how that feels for you. And then shift the weight over to the other foot. Feel that weight for you. And then we're going to do that again, but notice what happened to the hip as you shift it over. Do you feel it in the foot still? Or are you drawing up to the hip? So push into the floor with your foot. And then see if you can separate the foot to the floor and the hip up, so as if that knee has this almost floating experience. And then let's take it over to the other side. Notice your foot, notice your hip. How did the weight distribute? Push your foot into the floor, pull your hip up. Feel as if the knee is floating, and if that's difficult, that's okay. This might be your first time trying that. The more and more you do that, more and more you'll connect those neurons in the brain. Let's do that back and forth. Push and pull, push and pull. And if you need, like me, I'm very like, let me use my hands to help my body understand. You can even do this push and pull, and this is where we get some of this more Tai Chi or Qigong style movement. So I'm pushing down with the foot, pulling up with the hip. Push and pull. You may even notice it starts to feel a little bit like a belly dance. So if you're tightening your belly to assist with that hip, get the chest open. And then we might start to bend that knee and shift that hip back along with it. If that makes it a little bit more comfortable for you, go there. Keep rolling the shoulders back. Lengthen the neck. So then this whole up and down yin and yang movement starts to happen with the entire body. So the feet are pushing down, the head is reaching up. This is also happening from the foot to the hip. This is happening from the pelvic floor to the shoulders. And Then notice your breath. Inhale and exhale. And notice, again, as we talked about in the beginning, that rigidity versus that fluidness, the flow, the chi, the energy. And see if you can get this more moving through water feeling. So that we're getting this playfulness. And no one's watching you, everyone's watching me, right? So you can start to do this like fun, playful movements. So it doesn't have to be rigid. Notice what would help you not be rigid. And so maybe you want to do a little fun. So add some fun into it. And then release it. And we're going to take a little twist. So depending on your back, of course, and if your doctor has told you not to twist and turn them, please don't. Just let the arms swing. But if you can, and if it feels available for you, we can start to get this twisting and turning, and we want the hands to slap the body. So what this is doing is hitting on pressure points. So we call them in yoga marma points, kind of like acupressure. And this will help with digestion. And then it's also loosening up the spine. So if you are twisting through the spine, notice if you're twisting in the same spot every time, or is it this full movement with the head and neck rotating with you, making sure that you're not twisting the knees so we can feel the feet, but we feel the hips turning, so that when I turn, my knee might rotate a little bit, but it's not pulling through that knee. And then release it out. Wiggle, shake, allow yourself to move a little bit. We're going to be doing this heel-toe action, which we do a lot in most of our warm-ups. So I'm always going heel, heel, toe, toe. We're going to do that a little bit slower. So we're going to take our heel out. And as we take our heel out, notice what happens. So do you bend the knee, or do you just kind of like toss yourself into it? So see if we can take this very downward movement. Exhale, push the heel out. And then inhale, pull the foot back in. Exhale, push it out. And you notice I'm using my hands because this helps direct the movement and direct the breath. Exhale, and then inhale. Exhale, and inhale. As you're doing this, you might start to notice like, oh, my knee is turning in a little. Line it up, find the alignment in that stable foot, and then just take it out as far as your stable leg. So what seems to be happening here, and this is what happens a lot, is we're focused on the body part that's moving. But what we really need to give focus to is the body part that's holding you strong. So again, pay attention, that knee, that hip, find it. So this is more workshop, play shop kind of movement. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. So I'm noticing I have to squeeze my hip in quite a bit because I have a tendency to let this hip sway because of the way I tend to sit in my chair. So hips are forward, knee is forward or with the toe. Exhale and inhale. Last time, exhale and inhale. Shake it out, wiggle it out. Notice any difference if you'd like to sway it side to side like we started. Notice your low back. So if you were tensing a lot, bringing in that rigidity, maybe even holding your breath, notice if that happened for you. And let's see if we can improve on that when we shift over to the other foot. And so we've done it once. We can be a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser. Knee with the toe. Draw that hip in so hips are centered. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And what often happens when people are doing this is they're like, oh my gosh, why do I keep doing that? I need to stop doing that. I can't stop doing that. And that's okay. Be gentle with yourself because that's another form of that rigidity. To be playful, like a little kid who doesn't care if they're moving in a weird way. Exhale. Inhale. Check in with that stable leg. Check in with any movement. Notice when you push out, are you moving fluidly? Are you moving with the breath? When you inhale, are you doing that? And each time we do this, you'll pick up on different things. Last time. And bring it in. Take it wide if you haven't already. Let that weight shift side to side. You might have a micro bend in that knee, and we can start to add a little bit of that twist with it. And so as we're here, we're going to get in this almost dance-like movement. So we're going to swoop down and then bring the arm up and over. And of course, you pay attention to your shoulder. Swooping down, so as if you're running your hand through water, and then bring it up and over. Swoop, up and over. Swoop, up and over. So what we're doing is as we twist and as we turn, so we're getting some shoulder rotation, of course, but this is actually more about the hip, what's happening here. So we're rotating that hip, that I believe is femur. I need to brush up on my anatomy a little more. Rotating into the hip socket. I'm one of those people, I try not to be a perfectionist, but I cannot help it. And so I end up doubting myself when I say things. So, I'm sure we all have our own little quirks, right? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, which I will be opening up my yoga school online later this year. And each course, each module within it will be available on its own. So we'll be going through a big anatomy course. That's my plan, where I'm going to brush up on all of my verbiage. And then release. Notice how that's feeling for you. Give it a little wiggle. And so we're coming back out to that heel. So start with that first foot that you had out. And we've got our one-legged squat. So if you need the chair available for balance, this stable leg, the knee goes with the toe. We've got the hips forward, and we've practiced this in our movement form by pushing the heel out, but now we're going to push the hips back. And so it's almost like we're bowing, and if you'd like to bring your hands to your waist, let yourself bow. And so we get that little bit of a squat, and then we bring ourselves back up, squeezing through that glute the whole way to lift ourselves, and then allowing that muscle to engage as we slowly shift back. So how we might normally do this in our standard class, which is still corrective alignment movement, is we might be pumping through it a little faster. And as we move slow through it, we're actually getting more of the muscle fibers and spindles involved. So this becomes a little bit more challenging than just moving through it quickly. So if you notice that, it is not just you, that is the intention. And you will also get more muscle engagement because more of those spindles are working. Shift back as we exhale. And if you notice when you're moving through it slow, that you have to stop a little sooner to be able to slowly pick yourself back up, that's okay. When we're moving slower, we might not be able to move at the fullest range as if we were just yo-yoing back and forth. And so notice the breath, the inhale. You can use those hands. And exhale. And notice any rigidity in the body. Maybe it's your toes. Maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's your spine, your shoulders. So just take a moment and scan your body as you're lowering down. When you're so focused, and you're allowing yourself to be loose and then moving through water. And as you notice how you move will change when you think about moving through water, that just shows you that this is a mind game, far more than it is a body game. Let's do one more. And when you're done, take those legs wide again, and we've got just that twisting as we shift the weight side to side. And we want to add in that fluidity, that breath. And we'll be doing again that swoop just one time on each side, up and over. Up and over. Bringing it back in, we're going to settle into the foot that was just out. You might be feeling it in that heel. Me, I don't have shoes on, so I feel it. stable knee with the toe. That toe might turn out a little bit. And we take that heel out. Center the hips. And here, one thing that commonly happens is pull the belly in, let that tailbone relax. So a lot of times you're tensing in that low back and hip, especially if you felt it as we just released. Pull the belly in again, up and over, pushing the bottom back. So as if there was a bar here, and that'll keep you from sticking that belly out. So pull the belly in, pushing up, engaging through the hips, through the glutes, pushing back, belly in, chest is up, neck is long. And as you settle into it again, imagine you're moving through water, that all the air around you is supporting you and helping with the movement. You start to add the hands with it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. We've got 3 more. Notice any little tweaks or movements, any support, any rigidity. Hang it up. Take the feet wide. Take that little side-to-side rotation. And one time on each hand, swoop through, up and over. Up and over. Bring it back in and return those toes out, heels in. And as we start to drop down, we want to release. Exhale. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, push down. Release. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, push down, release. Last one. Inhale, draw up. Keep those glutes squeezed. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let the rest of your body feel loose as you keep squeezing your glutes. Not your knees, just the glutes. Breathe. And release. Give it a little shake, a little wiggle. It might be limited since the toes are out. Drop it down, release. So we want the weight in the thighs. And then we can start to engage just 50% of the glutes. And not that full 100 we were just at. Just about 50%. Let the thighs get engaged. And we're just going to lift one heel and then the other. If you need the chair, have the chair in front of you. Lifting up. Releasing. Let's alternate that heel lift. And notice, let's check in with that rigidity. Pull the belly button in, maybe give the tailbone a little wiggle. While you're there, you can also take one arm out, give it a wiggle. Take the other arm out, give it a wiggle. My imaginary chair is here, or both. All right, and this is when we can start to get that plie. Here we go, all the way up. Squeeze, and then release it down. Inhale, reach up. And release it down. Let's start with that heel lift, alternating. Inhale. And release it down. Other heel. Inhale, release it up. And down. One more time on each side. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Shake it out, wiggle it out. Notice how your hips are doing. And then let's have a little fun with these hips. So we're going to be taking them towards the front. Not too much glute squeeze, just pushing the hips front, but also not dropping into the spine. So we don't want to be just all pushed in. We want to gather the hips. So maybe imagine you're pulling something and pushing the hips forward. And then we're going to take them over to the side, which we've been practicing. Then we're going to take them into the back. So instead of this circle movement, we want to draw more of like a plus sign. So we've got to the side, bring it back to center, push it out, back to center, take it to the other side, back to center, push it to the front, and center. Here we go. Side, center, back. And notice what happens in the back. Did you lock the knees, soften them? Bring it back to center. We want this flexibility, this almost bounce. Take it to the side. And center. And front. and center. Maybe imagine the hands are helping you break through. And then to the back, soften the knees, almost like a little squat. Center, and then open through the other side. And center through the front. And center through the side. And center and back. And I know I'm making you use your mind, because as we get into this pattern, your brain is going to want to take the easiest route. It's going to say, well, it'd just be easier to take a big giant circle. Why do I got to keep going back to center and taking this pause? But as we practice that pause, that's telling us to pause before we go and just throw ourselves into something, whether it be eating a craving, doing a habit, anything of that sort. We're telling ourselves to break the patterns that aren't serving us anymore. We're bringing mindfulness into what we're doing. And then back to the front. Take a breath, relax it out, shake and wiggle if you need to. And then we're going to move in the other direction. So front, break through the side, push through the back, bend the knees. Other side, and the front, and then keep going, side and back. Notice your breath, notice your knees, notice your posture, notice how much awareness, how much mindfulness you can bring to this movement. Notice your breath. Let's go around one more time. Make sure that we're even on both sides. And the front. And release it out. Let's take that little twist and turn. Hopefully we haven't already forgot it. Shift the weight foot to foot. A little sway. And then we're going to take the legs even wider if you need. And big swoop through, bend this knee, bring it up and over so that back leg's rotating, hip in socket, open up. Let's take it one more time on the other side. And bring it open. Good. Taking our lunges. So if you feel most comfortable with that static lunge, then stay there. We're dropping straight down. We're going to take this to a 4 count. We're exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice your breath. Exhaling for 4. Inhaling for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. One more time. And then release, step it forward. Change your feet out. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Hips are forward, back knees dropping. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Notice, are you super intense with this? Again, can you create this playfulness to go with it? Last one. And bring yourself, step it forward. For this next portion, you can add the weights if you'd like. So you don't have to have the weights. The big thing here is to take it up again for that 4 count and add the squeeze, just like we're doing with our lunge. And then take it down and fully release. So you can add the weights if you'd like. I'm not going to grab my weight over there. So we're going to take 1 foot forward, 1 foot back in the staggered stance, not quite a lunge, but the staggered stance that forces us to distribute the weight. And then we'll have our weights if you have yours. Soft bend of both knees, hips are forward, elbows are in, take it down, and bring it up for 4, 3, 2, and squeeze, release it down for 4, 3, 2, and release. Notice the belly and the low back. Let's go again. Up for 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Release it down. 4, 3, 2, release. Up and 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Release down for 4, 3, 2, relax. Soften the grip in the hands. Too tight of a grip can raise the blood pressure. Bring it up for 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Take a little pause. Keep that squeeze. Notice your feet. Distribute the weight. Push the weight into both feet, almost like you're going to push. And there's something beneath your piece of paper, you would tear it apart. Squeeze and gather the hips to pull the belly button up and then start to release down for 4, 3, 2, relax. Notice your shoulders, notice your collarbone. Maybe you roll the shoulders back, start to engage the back muscles. Keep a little bounce, and then bring it back up. 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Release down to 4, 3, 2, relax. One more time. Squeeze the back muscles, squeeze the belly in, create softness, and up for 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Release down. 4, 3, 2, relax. Notice how that felt. Sometimes that can be even more challenging because you're trying to focus on so many things. That's multitasking. That part is good. That kind of multitasking is good for the body. Deep breath. One more. Then we're going to the other side. Other foot is front. Again, that back foot is down. We're just in this split stance so we can challenge ourselves because you will tend to move towards one. One tends to be more comfortable. Push the feet in opposite directions. That'll help gear the hips towards that forward. Roll the shoulders down, and we're going to our tricep kickback this time. Pull the elbows in. Really want to squeeze those back muscles, and we're taking it out for 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Release it down for 4, 3, 2, relax. Keep the hips forward, the feet pushing, chest is open. Take that breath. 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. Exhale on the squeeze. And then 4, 3, 2, soft relax. Squeeze the elbows in. Push the chest out. Engage the back. Push the feet. Hips forward. 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. And release for 4, 3, 2, relax. Out and 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. 4, 3, 2, relax. We've got 2 more. You can do it. 4, 3, 2, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, relax. One more. 4, 3, 2, and squeeze. 4, 3, 2, relax. Set your weight down. Grab a drink if you need it. And we are almost finished. You are doing fantastic. So go ahead and grab your drink. We've got that wide-legged position again. And we're just rocking side to side. Again, some of us might have a bigger bend than others. Notice the feet. Notice the knees. Notice the hips. Notice the shoulders. Notice the rigidity. Notice the playfulness. Do a few of these this time. The hand swoops in like you're grazing along the water top. Up and over. Up and over. We're learning little skills that should be building on themselves each time. So that today's practice we might have moved a little slower, worked a little bit more muscle spindles. But these skills are so important to have, to grow, to learn, as we move into our faster movements. That way we prevent injury from happening. But as you can see, that moving slow can be even bigger than moving fast. And often I see so many people just throwing them through exercises and they end up getting injured. So this is important for you to slow down, for you to be mindful, to know that not all exercise has to be stressful in that particular way that we're used to. But we can still add a healthy stress, and so we can work with that yin and that yang. Bring yourself back in, And let's just relax with some breath. You can do this seated or standing, so depending on how you're feeling. Soft knees if you're standing. Inhale up. Exhale, push down. Feel your feet push into the floor. Feel the breath draw up. Feel the energy push down. Alright, start to feel the knees move with it. Inhale. Even just the space between the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do one more deep breath. And release. Start to open your eyes. Add any movement, side to side that you need to do, any stretches that you'd like to add. I am doing some of my continuing education with Silver Seekers at the moment, and one of those is brushing up on my Tai Chi. They have their own version of Tai Chi that's like an energy movement, so I am studying that, so hopefully we'll have some more of that in our classes soon. As always, stress management is extremely important, making sure that you're taking the balance between that restorative but also having that push. So either one that you find you are in majority of most of the time. Notice, again, it comes back to that rigidity versus that playful, that plasticity, which I often call a lack mindset versus abundant mindset. If you haven't followed any of those, I've got a couple different pages where I talk about different things. So make sure that you follow. As always, if you think this video would be great for someone else, tag them. You don't have to be a Silver Seeker member to watch this. Hopefully everyone is participating and watching and viewing and becoming aware of different styles of exercise. And there are so many styles that I look forward to teaching you on our 10 a.m. classes or randomly throughout the other days. This week my schedule is a little off just because there's a lot of other things going on within my business and my other work, my other job that I have as well. So stay tuned to when these classes are being scheduled, if any. Always, you can watch another video and just comment underneath of it or send me a message so that you can get your points if you are needing your Silver Sneaker points. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Izzy and this is Fig Leaf Yoga and Fitness. Bye.